The availability of specific scale RC car bodies is governed by market forces. To maximise sales, manufacturers only tend to create bodies which they know will sell in large volumes. Ever since I bought my first hobby-grade RC car back in the 80s, I've been wondering, for example, why I can't buy an original Range Rover body. I'm still wondering. After all, I can choose between various models of Cadillac Escalade or Hummer, but the original SUV is surprisingly hard to buy. In Britain, however, the company who made that first ever hobby-grade car of mine are still active. They're called Mardave, and they've been building hobby-grade RC cars since 1969. Among their model range is a 1/12 scale indoor racer known as the V12. Indoor racing is huge in Britain, and 1/12 scale makes more sense indoors than 1/10. Camtech manufacture and supply all sorts of RC parts and accessories, from lap counters to tyres. But what's relevant here are their spectacular ranges of body shells in 1/18th, 1/12th, 1/10th and 1/8th scales. The list of classic car bodies they make for the Mardave V12 racer is, frankly, mouth-watering. If you have one of the smaller 1/10th scale short course trucks with a wheelbase of 300mm, you might be interested in using one of their 1/8th scale range to create a classic Ford race car. The choice includes the Mark I Escort, the Anglia and the Mark I Capri. I hope that my 1/16th scale Traxxas Slash would work as a chassis for a 1/12th scale Camtech body. Accordingly, I ordered myself 3 body shells, a Morris Minor Saloon in clear lexan, and in tough white ABS, a Morris Minor Traveller and a Ford Taunus. In Europe we were never offered the original Mustang. The equivalent market niche in our part of the world was supposed to be filled by the Capri, which came with a variety of power plants, from a 1.3 litre straight 4 up to a 3 litre V6. Well, in my view, the Capri never was the European Mustang. I think the Mustang's boots were too big for a Euro Ford to fill, but the car which I believe came closest, in terms of styling if nothing else, was the V6 Ford Taunus Coupe. At this point in the acquisition process, everything stalled because my debit card wouldn't work. This was in no way Camtech's fault. I had to replace the card eventually, but it does enable me to report that Camtech's office staff are friendly, hard-working and very helpful. Once that problem was resolved, my bodies arrived in record time, and here they are. Firstly, here's the clear Lexan Morris Minor body. I think it's absolutely excellent, with realistic proportions and detailing. Then we have the white ABS Minor Traveller, which is just as well proportioned as the Lexan version. Lastly, the Taunus, which is also in 2mm ABS, but which comes from the Banger Racing range. This means that it's already dented and battered right out of the box. It also means that the side windows are far more heavily recessed than the front and rear screens, presumably so that once the windows themselves have been cut out, the A and B pillars, which are disproportionately thick, will prove strong enough to withstand the rigours of the racetrack. To get an idea of more accurate window sizes and proportions, I looked for a 3-view of the Taunus. I couldn't find one, so I used a photo, displayed at the right size, to cut out a couple of templates from an image traced from the screen. As I won't be banger racing my Taunus, I hope to use these to get a more realistic profile. As for cars to which to fit the bodies, these are the 4 candidates I had in mind when I ordered these 3. The TL01 turns out to be far too long at 260mm. The Carisma GT-16 Baja Bug actually works out at 1/12.6 scale based on wheelbase and is a little short, coming in at 188mm. Then there's the Slash, at 208mm, the longest of the 3 possibles. Like the TL01 and the Carisma, this Slash offers 4-wheel drive, which I see as a bonus despite the fact that all 3 of these bodies represent rear-wheel drive cars. The last candidate is front-wheel drive, and with a wheelbase of 205mm and, crucially, the ability to wear smaller wheels than the Slash, the Tamiya M-03 carries each and every one of the 3 beautifully. Perhaps I should order a fleet of M-03 chassis. And now, if you'll forgive the indelicacy, I must touch briefly on the question of money. Each of the white ABS shells you see before you cost just £6, £5.99. Even this beautiful Lexan Morris Minor weighed in at just a tenner, £10. Let's put that into some sort of perspective. This is an HPI Blitz body shell. Agreed, it comes pre-painted, but it costs €64.50. So, if you're interested in the idea of a classic car body and you have a chassis with a wheelbase of around 200mm, perhaps a look at Camtech's website might be worthwhile. Now I just need to decide which body to start work on first. Thanks for watching.